What's up, guys? Jason Dye back at you with another episode of Commentating My Own Races. This time we are doing the Superbike Sprint from the same weekend as the other 3 races that I just did.
In November.
Right, and as you can hear, again, I am joined by Don Deacon.
Hey, Jason, how's it going?
Glad to have you back. Actually, the funny thing is we're recording 2 videos at once, so that's why back to back, which I'm totally fine with, getting these knocked out, and then the next one, you know, I'm going to try to get knocked out as well. Hopefully I'll have a co-host.
Pretty soon.
A couple of co-hosts.
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. But in any case, we are getting knocked out, so you're getting these videos like pretty much within a couple days with each other, if not the next day. So enjoy that if you like it. If you don't, well, sorry. Yeah. So we are right now waiting to go out for our warm-up lap. The guy in the rear view, as you see, one of the officials is going around to each rider, just making sure we know what our grid position is. And speaking of grid position, I start 10th in this race.
10th? Hey,
which
is better than the Super Sport one.
Which I started 13th. So I'm starting on the 4th row.
So you got a little bit better qualifying for this Superbike series, huh?
Yes, still a little bit better, but still not great, right? Because, again, a lot of traffic. It just wasn't working out for any of us on our team.
Right.
Could we have done better? Sure. You know, if we really kind of planned a little better, but it is what it is.
And here we go for the warm-up lap.
Right. So, again,
nice and easy.
Right. So, another recap quickly about the Superbike class. Unlike the Super Stock, where you have to keep everything pretty much like stock, right? You can't spend too much money on the engine and whatnot. The Superbike, anything goes. You could build your engine however you like, upper end, lower end, all of that, and it all works for Superbike class. So you can have stupidly powerful 600s within this class, but I don't think that's really the case, with the exception of a couple of bikes out there. For the most part, everyone that's running the Super Stock class is running the same bike in the Superbike class.
Right.
That's what I'm doing. And in this case, I'm running Don's bike, which is again a completely stock bike.
Completely stock.
Pretty much, you know, with a couple of fuel management system, like a fuel management system, a Park Commander 5.
Suspension, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. You know, and that's what this class, the Super Stock class, should be.
Right.
So less restrictions. Again, the only restriction that we have in this class, or any other class at FMRRA, is the fuel. We have to use Sunoco fuel. It could be Sunoco pump gas, or it could be Sunoco race fuel, whatever you want, you know, as long as it's Sunoco. They do have a tester, I think it's a gravity tester.
Right.
And apparently Sunoco is different from every other brand.
All right. Getting a good stretch there.
Right, that's Chase Molak. He's just
letting you know you're going slow.
Yeah, we're coming up. We're just slow down, you know, like I'm slowing down to show up on the grid. And then I'm just rolling up to my grid positions.
Good old number 10.
Not so much good old number 10. I'd rather be like, you know, number 3 or 1.
Sure, but this puts you what, 3rd row, 4th row?
4th row, yeah. 4th row. The start of the head of the 4th row. So,
our friend the dead bug is back.
Well, he never left.
Yeah.
He kind of just stuck around after the last race. It's kind of unfortunate, you know, there's a little bit of a dead spot on the screen, but you can still see mostly everything, so
we'll work around it.
The weather conditions were really nice this weekend. I didn't mention in the other videos, but you know, it was nice weather. It was about 70 to 80 degrees.
Yeah, like good breeze, nothing too crazy with the winds.
Yeah, we didn't have to break our fans, which is always a plus.
Very nice.
So, like, and these conditions, 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, is pretty much perfect conditions for the tires that we run. In most cases.
And what tires are you running for this race?
I am running Michelin, because I am a Michelin man.
That is nice. And those are the Power
Cup Evos.
Power Cup Evos.
Right. So the race DOT tires, which are, you know, pretty close to slicks as far as compound and everything goes. The only difference between DOTs and slicks, in a lot of cases, is the sipes. Like DOT tires have the rain sipes cut in.
And
whether they're effective.
Looking at the guy to the left there, looks like the red board is still out. And he runs off, and we got a little bit of a false start there.
Jump start.
Nice wheelie from the guy on the left.
Wheelie.
That allows you to get by a little bit there.
And man, look at James, my teammate James, getting by me to the left. Had a killer start, and you know what? I'll let him have it because
that was a good start.
Yeah, well, I couldn't have actually just taken it without being an asshole.
Right. Turn 2 into turn 3.
Doug almost got by me in that one.
He's closed the door on him.
Right.
And around turn 4, getting right up behind James. See if you can't get a little bit better drive going into the carousel. No, not quite. Sticking right behind James going around the carousel.
And Doug was just right there, just running up on me, kind of push him out a little wide because he just wasn't expecting me to not carry enough speed.
He loses a spot because of it.
He does. But he loses a spot to this guy passing us right now. It's Josh Marino. Really quick guy, actually. Running among the fastest lap times that weekend on the 600s.
Okay.
So kind of just expect that.
And getting a good drive onto the back straight. Hoping for a good draft.
Getting a little bit of the draft effect, but not nearly significant enough to really take full advantage. So it's at least just keeping me within, sight's reach.
Here comes Doug up behind you. Nope, he's gonna go ahead and park it. And around turn 9.
He makes up a little bit on that corner speed, though.
Yeah, he does. Going into 10, not quite close enough there. Let's see if you get that wiggle that you've been experiencing quite a bit this weekend.
All right.
Yeah, it's a faster lap on a lap 1 than it was the super stock race, which was a 130.
Right. And I didn't get that wiggle going in that one.
You did not.
I was a bit smarter about it this time around.
And here we go, onto the brakes for turn 4.
Trail braking a little bit, which allows me to kind of just close up a bit because a lot of people don't trail brake going into turns. It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
let's be honest. You want you're on the brakes turning in. And if people aren't careful, they could easily crash.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug. Yeah. Second time he's done this so far
in the carousel.
In the carousel, right? But as I was saying about the trail braking, a lot of people are afraid to do it. I kind of just figured it out, especially for this one race. You could trail a bit, and it will help you, basically brake a lot later and just carry more speed going into that corner.
Okay, now you are a lot closer here going onto the drag strip, and you will be getting the draft here behind James. That's still James, right?
That is still James, yes.
Okay.
See, I'm making up a little bit.
Not quite. Gonna go ahead and give him turn 9.
I did let off quite a bit early. I did let off earlier than I would. There's 5 sets of cones going into this last corner, turn 9. It's not the last corner, but going into turn 9. And in this case, the last lap, James let off around between the 4 and 5.
Okay.
I normally let off at the 3.
Right.
3 cones.
Okay.
So I'm not quite going completely as fast as I could. But again, gentleman racer, didn't feel close enough to make, the pass cleanly.
That's right. And trying to get a little more under the brakes into turn 4 yet again. We do have a gaggle of riders in front of you. See if you can't. That doesn't help you make up some ground with the other riders, and that, making that kind of situation, does that allow you more opportunity to pass, or does that seem to hinder you from passing?
So when there's a big gaggle of bikes, it depends on how close they are together, right? So if there's some space between them, then passing is usually not an issue if I'm faster than the person that's right in front of me. But if they are all clumped together, passing is really difficult because you can't just pass one bike and not stuff the next one if they're that close together, right? And man, Doug's not letting me go.
Not want
if you're looking at that rear view and that green bike, the Kawasaki ZX 636. I think that's an 05 or 06.
I don't know. We could always call Chuck and ask him what his bike was.
Yeah, it was an older bike.
Oh, there's that wiggle again.
A little bit of wiggle.
Rearing its ugly head, allowing Doug to close up a little bit, but kind of pushes him back a little bit too.
Right. Sorry, Doug. I just messed up all your lines and your rhythm there. And the funny is, I'm not even racing against him I'm racing in the same race, but he's an amateur class, so I'm not technically racing.
Hey, no wiggle going into 1 though.
Yeah.
And you do make up a little bit of ground on James, but he seems to be getting away from you just a little bit there.
Making it back.
Is that Darren in front of him?
It is Darren in front of him. So before Darren got past, it was Alex Capellan in front of Darren.
Okay.
Or in front of James, and then we didn't really see very clearly. Oh, there we go. Do I go by?
Going around the outside, and I think he let you by.
He did let me by.
I think he let you by.
Thank you, James. Yeah, he did let me by.
Speaking of that gentleman racer.
Right.
What were we talking coming about? Up onto you were talking about Alex Capellan getting past.
Oh, Darren. Yeah, we didn't see that pass, but he did get by him. So now I got Darren, who I am racing against. They say your teammate is your first opponent, right?
Oh yeah.
You always try to beat your teammate. Now in professional teams like MotoGP and stuff like that, that makes a lot more sense because
you're on the same equipment for the most part.
Right. You have to try to prove yourself above your teammate because you don't want to get that contract for next year, right? So, but in the case we don't have any contracts that we're working with here, you know, so I still want to beat Darren. Don't get me wrong, you know.
It's a friendly competition.
But it's friendly competition, exactly. So I am just sticking with Darren. I'm gonna try to see if I can make it past at some point.
Seem to be very consistent with the 123.9s, 124.7, 124.1. See if you can't get into that 22 on this lap. That'd be very nice.
We'll see.
Around turn 3, going down the straight into turn 4. Closing right up on the outside, but you can't make it stick.
It's hard to go around the outside on people that have good lines and good speed. Yeah. And Darren's one of them. I mean, I might have seem so far to have better speed around corners, but at least with this race. But going around the outside takes a ton more speed in order to make that happen.
That's a lot more difficult. Going into the S's.
Yeah, and that's why in professional racing, you don't really see people go around people in corners.
Right.
You see them
go on the inside.
On the inside,
push
going
somebody
into the corner,
wide,
or get them on the exit, but you don't see them going around them yet because everyone has enough speed that it's almost impossible to do so without breaking the laws of physics.
And here comes that draft again. Do you get him? No, letting up. Letting up. Let him by.
I did let up. But I don't think I wouldn't be able to make it. Oh, bye. I was close.
All right.
I'm gonna stick with them. Gotta stick with them. Try to stay more to the right so I can get a better drive. Ooh, get a pretty good drive. But I don't have a straight path to go through. I don't like passing here, so I let him a little space. I'm gonna try to close right back up.
Much better through turn 1 and 2. Here
sure. When there's someone in front of me, kind of paces me, and it's a little easier to control. You know, my brake going in turn 1, so I don't get too crazy.
And you're not leaving James either.
Yeah, James is sticking around as well. Ooh.
And Doug, it's the top box racing.
Again, can't get around them.
Man, going into that carousel, man, he's taking a great line there.
Yeah, nice and inside. It's a more defensive line. It's actually the right line, but I mean, it's pretty defensive in the sense that, people, if you're fast enough, aren't going to be able to get around you.
Okay.
So.
And into the S is tightening up just a little bit. Again, getting that accordion effect. See if you can't get a little bit better drive.
Try to stick with them. Try to get on the gas.
This is the last lap. Let's see what can happen here. Getting that draft.
Just staying as straight behind them as I can to take full advantage of that draft. As soon as you pull out, you'll start feeling that drag. But all right, can we do it? Can we do it?
Pull him out.
Yes.
He gets
by him
right around the inside. But no, what happens here?
And then
and Darren gets right back inside. Little Fast and Furious action there.
Right. Oh, dang.
Into turn 10, onto the front straight. Not quite able to get that 22, but look at those series of 24s. That is very consistent, sir.
Yeah, consistency. It's a lot of people argue consistency is more important than a fast lap time, right? Because if you consistently go fast, then you are better set up to do better. If you're just only fast for 1 or 2 laps, you're only fast for 1 or 2 laps, and then the rest of the laps,
allows other people to get by you.
Exactly. So
catch you and get by you.
Man, so what happened in that last turn, going into turn 9 off the back straight? I passed Darren, and if I concentrated, really focused, and didn't get distracted by passing him, the fact that I passed him, I would have made a stick. So I basically passed him, and I was like, oh, I'm not quite done with my downshifts yet. I should have been. And then so I tried to squeeze all the downshifts at the very end, which caused the chassis to kind of upset a little bit.
Okay.
And that caused a little bit of wiggle and the front to kind of push. Yeah. So that's my mistake. I had an opportunity to make that work, and it didn't because I was just not focused. Right. So
it seemed like he was prepared for it though too. So
he was. He saw me. He knew I was back there. Sure. He saw me kind of poke my nose a couple of times, and of course, as we're me and Darren are great friends, but on the racetrack, it's not like we're giving up lines to each other.
No.
If I'm behind him and I can't make that pass, cleanly, yeah, I'll give it to him.
Okay.
But otherwise, I mean, I'm not giving up that spot if I can help it.
So in this one, where'd you end up at?
So in this one, I finished sixth overall, in front of a couple other people and 3 other people. Sixth in experts, right? Not overall. So I finished 6th in experts in front of a few other people. So a little better this time,
Okay.
And it was a good battle, like basically overall with all my teammates.
Yeah.
Both Darren, me, Doug, and James, all four of us, all stuck together. It made for some pretty good pictures afterwards.
Yeah, it did.
So in any case, we're going to go ahead and close this video off here. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment down below about what you thought about this race, my start, my finish. That finish, though.
That was a good finish.
That was a good finish. But with all that said,
keep the shiny side up.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.